Now, the big release of the week is Robin Hood. Wade, Robin Hood, Ridley Scott. It launched the Cannes Film Festival this year, right? It was the big.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday. We saw it, of course, before the people at Cannes saw it.
Yes, we did.
We saw it.
And we have not yet talked about it.
Actually, Wade and I were at the same screening. We didn't sit together, even though, by the way, I have a bone to pick with Wade.
Oh,
when I used to see these screenings, I would notice that Wade would always sit in the back row. And I don't know why he would do that. I would want to sit kind of mid, because you want to be enveloped by the film. And then eventually...
And then I got you sitting in the back row.
And then you got me sitting in the back row. So I'm in Robin Hood sitting in the back row saying, where the hell's Wade? And it turns out, I don't know where you were.
No, I got there late.
Where'd you sit?
Somewhere in the middle. Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, speaking about title changes and about movies with questionable history, all of that can pertain to this as well. Despite the title, Robin Hood, which makes everyone think of Errol Flynn, Douglas Fairbanks, all of the Robin Hood movies and television shows you've ever seen. We know the story, Little John, Will Scarlet, the whole thing, Sheriff of Nottingham, Friar Tuck, right? Even Daffy Duck, right? We know the Friar Tuck thing. We've all got it down. That's not this movie. This is a notoriously deceptive movie, which tells you that they know they had problems on their hands right from the very beginning. This was originally titled Nottingham, and it was supposed to be a prequel to the Robin Hood legend that told you how Robin becomes the outlaw Robin Hood. The commercials all start with King John screaming, "I declare him an outlaw." That's how this movie ends. So I want people to know what you're getting into. Don't think you're going to this movie, if you go to it, seeing the legend of Robin Hood as you've come to know it. You're going basically to see a prequel about a man who comes back from the Crusades, from the army of Richard the Lionheart, and the events that lead to him becoming the leader of the Merry Men by the end of the film. This is meant to launch a franchise. So before we get into it, let's look at a clip.
Calm and careful. Make it count. Go! It'll make a fine pincushion! King Philip!
So I'll say this. I love Russell Crowe, plays Robin Hood. I love Cate Blanchett, who plays Marion. As actors, I love them both. Can't get enough of them. Two of my favorite actors in the world. Normally a Ridley Scott fan, as long as he has a good script. Usually a reliable director. Love Gladiator. Love Gladiator. That was 10 years ago. Can you believe that was 10 years ago, Gladiator?
One of the worst films ever to win Best Picture.
One of the greatest films of the last 15 years. No, it's a really good film. It's not that great, but it's a really good film. But Danny Huston playing Richard the Lionheart there, we hate him. We really hate him. We do. We hate Danny Huston. He's a horrible actor. He ruins everything he shows up in with that ridiculous
Oh, is that
hair.
why? Okay, so that's why in the message boards there's a guy named Danny Houston Rules.
Yeah, it's to taunt us.
Okay.
It's to taunt us.
You know what? It might be Danny Houston for all we know.
Right.
It could be. It could be.
Okay.
He's just horrible.
Now I understand.
If his father hadn't have been a great film director, nobody would hire him for these movies. They just wouldn't. Anyway, but this thing feels like a movie that no one ever had a handle on. First of all, it's rated PG-13. You can't do a movie about the Crusades and all of these battles and sword fights and so forth. You can't do this Gladiator style, expecting Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott to bring their Gladiator to this movie and rate it PG-13. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It just feels sanitized. It feels television. It feels completely damped down. And you could tell that they never got a handle on the story. Two guys are credited with the original script. Brian Helgeland brought in to rewrite it. Brian Helgeland, the guy who did A Knight's Tale, is supposed to bring some kind of sophistication and depth and gravitas to this. Decent screenwriter, but for this, not the right guy. And then Brian Grazer, really? Brian Grazer as a producer is supposed to wrangle this movie into shape? This isn't a Brian Grazer film. And then on top of that, it has this enormous budget, which, is not on the screen. The movie never, ever, ever gels for me.
No, you know what? I actually agree. In fact, I don't really know what Ridley Scott saw in the Robin Hood myth. It's almost like, why even call it Robin Hood?
No,
it's
I
just
agree.
about a guy. You know what? It's funny because we all know about
It
the
shouldn't
Robin
be
Hood.
right. It should be Nottingham.
It should
have been Nottingham.
Or it should be some other character because
Yeah.
again, you know, when you look at Friar Tuck and Lady Marian and Robin Hood, it takes you this place, and
Yeah.
the movie almost wants to be a bit, if not a Batman Begins prequel, a retelling,
Yeah.
almost like a revisionist Robin and Marian with Sean Connery, right?
But here's the other thing too. As long as you brought it up. By the way, all kinds of little connections here. Robin and Marian, directed by Richard Lester, who directed The Knack. Huh?
What?
Huh? You like how all this folds together in a nice little package today with a little bow on it and the cherry on top? Okay, Robin and Marian, 1976. Takes place 20 years later. An aging Robin Hood, played by Sean Connery, reconnects with the aging Marian, played by the wonderful Audrey Hepburn, right? Really a good movie.
Sure.
It's a decent movie. Really a good movie. No, it's good. You know how old Sean Connery was as that aging Robin Hood?
47,
46.
46,
Do you know how old Russell Crowe is as this guy who's going to become Robin Hood?
47.
46. 46.
Damn it.
So, you know, I mean, there's a problem here. Robin Hood is supposed to be about a 20, 21-year-old guy. We got a 46-year-old guy who's getting ready. By the time he's 50, he's going to be one heck of an archer.
Well, that's true. And also, I think the issue, too, is that Ridley Scott is a very brawny, muscular director. He does Kingdom of Heaven and 1492. That's what he brings to it. And this movie really isn't all that much fun. And he tries to weave a lot of history into it.
The
And
history's all wrong, too.
history's all wrong. And
It's
also,
completely wrong.
It's also convoluted. It's a little convoluted.
It doesn't feel like, it feels like someone came to them and said, here's a script about how Robin Hood became Robin Hood. And someone said, what a great idea. The script didn't work. They put Brian Helgeland on the job, and who knows how many other writers and writing teams in between. I mean, there could be 50 other writers in there. And they should have just thrown it out. Take that basic idea, change it, rewrite it completely from scratch, and find something in it worth telling. But here, I feel like all these characters are just waiting around for the Robin Hood legend to begin. It feels like this movie's like the green room of Robin Hood movies. Everyone is just waiting. Everyone is just sitting there waiting, and nothing happens.
And you know what really pissed me off? In the movie, Robin Hood plays for the Nets.
It's amazing.
And you're like, they're such a terrible team.
We didn't see that coming. You go to the well once, twice. You just
I thought, you know what?
You got nothing.
Camera 2. I thought that
Wait,
joke
who's calling? You don't call
I thought
cameras.
that joke had one more
No,
piece of life
no,
left in
no,
it.
no.
Okay,
and,
I'm done with
and,
that.
and don't ever call cameras again.
No.
Okay. All right. So Robin Hood, disappointing.
Yeah, really, really disappointing.
It's basically a dense mess.
If they had had a younger actor, maybe a different director, a little hungrier, a better script, half as much money. I guess I'm talking about a different movie, aren't I?
You're talking about a
Yeah,
whole
I'm
different
talking a
movie.
whole different